everyone, welcome back to Actual English. My name is Jennifer Clyde. We have been talking about topics related to food, and today's topic happens to be eating in and eating out. Simply put, eating at home or eating at the office would be eating in, and eating out means eating outside of home or outside of the workplace, so perhaps going to restaurants or places to eat. So, do you tend to eat in more or do you tend to eat out more? As for me, I think I have a tendency to eat out more than I do at home. So, of course, on Sundays, I make it a rule to stay home, spend time with my mother. So usually, Sundays, yeah, it's a very special day for me because I eat the whole day. Okay, I eat at home. I eat pretty much everything I can eat. I empty the refrigerator. Anyhow, I think it is a wonderful place. Korea is a wonderful place to eat. There's so many different kinds of dishes. You can pretty much find international cuisine everywhere. Lots of restaurants popping up here and there. And you could even have fast food delivered to your place. What other country actually does that? So it's a wonderful place to actually get lots of good food. So let's talk about today's topic. Once again, let's focus on eating in and eating out. Here we go.
So do you eat in more or eat out more?
Oh, definitely. Since arriving in Korea, eating out has become a habit of mine. I really don't have time to cook. Once I finish work, even if I do have time, I don't have the energy. And once you walk outside the door of your house, there are so many things to choose from. So why bother cooking?
Yeah, it's a lot of effort, especially for one person.
Yeah.
I used to eat out pretty much constantly in Korea because it's so easy here. The food's
very
good.
Easy.
There's so many choices, and there's no tipping.
Oh, no tipping. Oh, yeah, it's not
You don't have to tip.
compulsory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which helps a lot with the bill.
I had no idea. I don't think we have a bit of a tipping culture in Australia.
Oh, you have to tip for everything in America.
Oh, really?
It's
10%?
actually
10%? 15,
no
20?
18
18%.
for your server. Yeah, and then there's
Wow.
tax on top of everything
What if
too.
it's bad service? You still have to tip?
That's, you know.
That's a
It
good
depends
point.
on the situation,
so
I guess.
The tipping situation in Korea is quite good.
Oh, it's wonderful,
Yeah, and the choices you get. But taking that a step further, if you're even more lazy than that, you don't have to step outside the home. You can get everything delivered.
You can get an awful lot delivered. You know what? They don't deliver like fast food in America, but they do in Korea.
Here.
It's kind of like wonderful and horrible at the same time.
That's exactly right. And do you get those coupon booklets delivered to you every single season?
Coupon booklets?
Yeah, they have. I get that delivered to my house, and it's my worst nightmare because they have seasonal menus and I have different things to choose from.
Oh,
so I'm sitting at home flipping through the booklet. I'm going, okay, I think
I want
chicken.
that. I want that. Oh, okay.
And yeah,
So you order
phone
3
call.
things from 3 different restaurants.
Exactly, and have them delivered all at the same time. And I'm
Let's
just like,
order something right now.
right, good idea.
As always, I'll give you a brief summary of what the two talked about. Today we had Peter and Joanne talking about eating in and eating out. Now, Peter, I guess he let Joanne do all the talking because he did mention very briefly that he used to eat out almost constantly. And I think he was referring to a time before he got married. So before, when he was single, he did tend to eat out. But now, since he's married with children, he tends to eat much more often at home. Whereas Joanne, of course, she did mention several times that she lives alone and she's not a very good cook. So she tends to go out to eat. And especially because there are so many restaurants to go to, so many different kinds of foods to choose from. And if you're lazy sometimes, yeah, you can just stay home and have food delivered to your home. Joanne even mentioned something about these coupon booklets that she gets delivered to her house. And every time she gets a chance, she flips through them. She looks through them, and it makes her hungry. So she ends up calling these restaurants and having food delivered from many, many restaurants. Okay, enough of me talking. Let's take a look at the actual talk together. All right, first of all, they do talk about food, and of course, obviously, Peter begins by asking, do you eat in more or eat out more? Do you eat in more or do you eat out more? Now, Joanne says, since arriving in Korea, since coming to Korea, eating out has become a habit of mine. Now, what can you tell from the sentence? If something becomes a habit, it means that you do it frequently. You do it almost all the time. So she's saying, since arriving in Korea, eating outside of the home has become a habit of mine. I eat out very, very often. I really don't have time to cook. And she says, I don't have the energy. Don't have the energy as well. So two things she pointed out here. I don't have the time to cook. And once again, I don't have the energy to cook, that is. And once you walk outside the door of your house, there are so many things to choose from. So she says, why bother cooking? Why bother cooking? She says, why would you want to waste your energy and time when you don't have enough of either of them? Why would you want to cook at home when you could just step right outside your door and there are so many restaurants out there, foods to choose from? So Peter says, I used to eat out constantly. Now pay attention, used to is very important. I used to. Just by saying that, you know he no longer does it. He's talking about the past. I used to eat out constantly, meaning over and over and over again. In this case, he means very often, because it's so easy here. So easy, in this case, meaning it's not difficult to find a restaurant. The food's good. There are so many choices, and there's no tipping. He loves that. Now, they both talk about the tipping culture, okay, back in the States. Briefly, very shortly, about Australia. And he says, in Korea, there's no tipping. You don't have to tip anyone. And then Joanne says, oh yeah, it's not compulsory. Compulsory is another word for required, mandatory. If you have to do something, you would say that it is compulsory. In this case, he's saying it is not compulsory, so you don't have to tip. Now, yeah, which helps a lot with the bill. Bill here means 계산서 in Korean, of course, so helps a lot with the bill. Now, bill here, of course, means check, right? So once again, check. Okay, so in this term, we're talking about how much money you can save because you don't have to, of course, tip, which helps a lot with the check, which helps a lot with the bill, which helps you save money. And he says, you have to tip for everything in America. You have to tip for something. In this case, everything, where? In America. Now, Joanne says, oh, really? And then she's guessing, 10%, 15, 20, and then he says, no, 18, meaning, 18%? You have to tip 18%? That's ridiculous, isn't it? And he says, yeah. And then, tax on top of everything. So the key word here is tax. There is something on top of everything. Now, imagine, we have tax, okay? Imagine this is tax. There's everything. And there's tax on top of it. So it means extra of something. So you pay for the meal, I guess, and then you have to pay an extra tax. And then there's tax on top of everything too. Now, Joanne asks, what if it's bad service? What if you're not happy with the service you got? You still have to tip? Do you still have to tip? And then he says, well, it depends on the situation. But I think in most cases, even if you're not happy with the service you got, unless you want to make a statement and say, I'm really angry, I'm never coming back, most people do tip. So anyhow, he says it depends on the situation. Now, Joanne says the tipping situation in Korea is quite good. And if you don't want to step outside, meaning go outside the home, you can get everything delivered. Now, you can have something delivered or get something delivered. So in other words, she's saying, if you don't want to go outside, if you don't feel like stepping outside, you can get everything delivered. You can call and have almost everything delivered to your home. Now, you can get an awful lot delivered. An awful. You may think, oh, awful, that's a negative word. Awful, terrible. Yes, that's right. In this case, it means... So although the word awful is used several times, in most cases in the negative way, in this situation, it's used as, I guess it does have a positive connotation to it. It's not so negative. It just means you can get a whole lot delivered, okay? A large amount of something. They don't deliver fast food in America, okay? In America, they don't. And he says, but they do in Korea. It's kind of wonderful and horrible at the same time. Now, the reason why Peter said that it's wonderful and horrible at the same time is, you know what he means, right? It's wonderful. Yeah, you get fast food delivered, that's a wonderful thing. But why is it horrible? If you're wondering why, Jen, why is it horrible? It's because fast food is not good for you. And if you can have fast food delivered, then of course you're going to eat junk food. So that is what he means. It's great, but it's not so great. It's wonderful and horrible at the same time. Now, Joanne agrees. She says, that's exactly right. And then she says, do you get those coupon booklets delivered to you? Now, the word coupon can be pronounced two ways, I think. Coupon. I say coupon. Coupon? Yeah, I think that's what you say in Korea. Coupon or coupon. You can choose whichever way. Coupon, coupon. And booklets. They're small books like pamphlets. So do you get those delivered to your home? Well, she does. Let's see what Peter said. He has no idea, so he says, coupon booklets? Joanne explains, yeah, I get that delivered to my house, and it's my worst nightmare. We did take a look at this expression, worst, nightmare. It means that you dread something, okay? Although it's wonderful to have something delivered, she's saying, oh, it's terrible. It's my worst nightmare because I can't help but order fast food, have it delivered. They have seasonal menus, and they have different things to choose from. All right, and then of course, Peter says, oh, okay, he understands what she's saying. So now she gives us an example of what happens when she gets the coupon booklet. Now, try to imagine this in your head. So I'm sitting at home, flipping through the booklet, and she says to herself, I'm going, oh, I think I want chicken. This looks good. I think I want chicken. And then Peter says, oh, I want that. And then he says, okay, so you order 3 things from, right? Order something from a place. So he's saying you order 3 things, meaning 3 menus or 3 dishes from 3 different restaurants. And yeah, she says exactly. Yep. That's the point, exactly. And have them delivered all at the same time. Have them, meaning, that's right, food. Have the food that she ordered delivered all at the same time. And Peter, well, he's gotten hungry once again today, and he says, let's order something right now. One more tip. Now, we're talking about having food delivered and ordering something to your home, to your office. Now, imagine that you are in a place, at home, at your workplace, office, wherever it may be. You can say, hey, let's have food delivered, right? But it's long, so make it simple and short. You can say, hey, let's order in. Let's order in, okay? So keep that in mind. All right, let's take a listen to today's actual talk one more time.
So do you eat in more or eat out more?
Oh, definitely. Since arriving in Korea, eating out has become a habit of mine. I really don't have time to cook. Once I finish work, even if I do have time, I don't have the energy. And once you walk outside the door of your house, there are so many things to choose from. So why bother cooking?
Yeah, it's a lot of effort, especially for one person.
Yeah.
I used to eat out pretty much constantly in Korea because it's so easy here. The food's
very
good.
easy.
There's so many choices, and there's no tipping.
Oh, no. No tipping. Oh yeah, it's not
You don't have to
compulsory.
tip. Yeah,
Yeah.
which helps a lot with the bill.
I had no idea. I don't think we have a bit of a tipping culture in Australia.
Oh, you have to tip for everything in America.
Oh, really?
It's-
Is it
it's
10%?
actually-
10%? 15,
No,
20?
18
18%.
for your server. Yeah, and then there's
Wow.
tax on top of everything
What if
too.
it's bad service? You still have to tip?
That's, you know,
That's
It
a good
depends
point.
on the
Yeah,
situation,
so
I guess.
The tipping situation in Korea is quite good.
oh, it's wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah, and the choices you get.
Mm.
But taking that a step further, if you're even more lazy than that, you don't have to step outside the home. You can get everything delivered.
You can get an awful lot delivered. You know what? They don't deliver like fast food in America, but they do in Korea.
here.
It's
That's-
kind of like wonderful and horrible at the same
That's
time.
exactly right. And do you get those coupon booklets delivered to you every single season?
Coupon booklets?
Yeah, they have. I get that delivered to my house, and it's my worst nightmare because they have seasonal menus and I have different things to choose from.
Oh,
So I'm
okay.
sitting at home flipping through the booklet. I'm going, okay, I think
Oh, I want
chicken.
that. I want that. Oh, okay.
And yeah,
So
bang,
you
a
order
phone
3
call.
things from 3 different restaurants.
Exactly, and have them delivered all at the same time. And I'm
Let's
just like,
order something right now.
right, good idea.
Now it's time for us to take a look at some very important words related to today's topic. We are talking about eating in and eating out. Here we have the word compulsory. Remember what it means, right? It means that it's required, it's mandatory, it's a must, it's obligatory. It's an obligation to do so because it's either required by law or certain rules. Let's check out how to pronounce it. Okay, the stress goes right there. So it's compulsory. Compulsory. One more time. Compulsory. Good job. And the next one, booklet. Remember, Joanne was talking about these coupon booklets, and the pronunciation is booklet. It's not let, although it's L-E-T, it's pronounced as an L-I-T, a short I sound, booklet. Booklet, okay? And some other words for booklet are brochure, brochure, leaflet, or pamphlet. You all know that word, right? So pamphlet, brochure, or even leaflet. These are small, like little booklets or little books, usually with paper covers, okay? So when you want to say pamphlet, try using the word booklet next time. And one more word, seasonal. We talked about seasonal menus. So if you say seasonal something, it means pertaining to or that it's related to a specific season. Here, the pronunciation is seasonal, seasonal, seasonal. It's more like snow, seasonal. Okay, got it. Good job. All right, we've got some patterns, 3 ready for you today. The first one is you have to or you don't have to tip for something. You don't have to tip the concierge for a simple restaurant recommendation. Now, focus on don't have to. Who? You don't have to tip the concierge. Usually when you go to, let's say, for example, a hotel and you're staying at the hotel, you could walk down to the lobby or call from your room and ask questions about which restaurants are good, what places you should go to tour or even to go shop. So that's concierge, but you can say you don't have to tip for a simple restaurant recommendation. Now, but if they do actually make reservations for you at a restaurant that's fully booked, of course, you do have to tip the concierge. One more. You don't have to tip for deliveries. This is the case in Korea, right? So you don't have to tip for so-and-so. Another pattern to keep in mind is there is or there are something on top of everything else. So this means you already have enough of something and there's an extra something on top, okay? There are concerns about money on top of everything, okay? Now, another one is, oh, that should be omitted. Ignore that, everyone. There are concerns about money on top of everything. In this sentence, it means on top of everything, you have enough concerns. You have so many problems and worries. And even more, on top of that, there are worries or concerns about money. So we're talking about a difficult situation. What about this? There are problems at home on top of everything else. So you've got extra problems at home. In this sentence, once again, you already have a lot of problems at work, with your friends, and you're having a difficult time. But on top of that, plus all of that, you have problems at home. So this whole situation is a bad situation, a not so good situation. Let's check out one more. Flip through. Now, we were talking about flipping through the booklets. That's right. Flip through means to really briefly look through something. You can say, my niece likes to flip through the TV channels. Okay? Flip through, once again, it means to really quickly look through something. And one more sample sentence. You can say maybe, since I don't have time, I'm going to flip through the book. If you are a student and you have to write maybe a book report, you have to do some research, but you are running out of time. You don't have enough time to read the entire book. In that case, you have to skim through it or look through it. That's when you can say this. Since I don't have time, I'm going to flip through the book. Look through it really quickly. One more time. Since I don't have enough time, I'm going to flip through the book. All right, that is all for today's actual expressions.
At one point in my life, I was eating out 3 meals a day. And I'm originally from New York City. So, you live this very busy life, and in Seoul as well. So, especially in New York, I would have a bagel and a coffee in the morning on the go. You have a salad for lunch, you have a slice of pizza for dinner. You get used to going out and eating all the time. I think that kind of trend has followed in my life, especially in Seoul, because eating out is so cheap. It's really delicious, it's quick, it's efficient. But I remember I'm always sick, so my friend is saying to me, you have to look at what you're eating and how that's affecting you. So he asked me one day to write down a list of everything I ate, and he said, this is why you're sick all the time, because you never ever eat at home. And he said, even though these restaurant foods might taste delicious, you have to remember that they're not putting wholesome ingredients in it all the time. And you have to vary eating at home and eating out. So I try to, at least have breakfast or dinner at home from time to time, even though it can be quite difficult.
I think that a lot of people living in really busy cities such as Seoul or even New York, as she mentioned, we do all have very similar problems. Not enough time to cook at home. Not enough time to prepare yourself a really good meal, a healthy meal, that we're often running around, running out of home or leaving our homes for work. And once you're out there, you can grab a coffee, a sandwich, a pizza for lunch, which is very, very unhealthy. Let's check out the things she's mentioned in today's actual story. First of all, she said, at one point in my life. This is a fancy way of saying once in the past, okay? At one point in my life, I was eating out 3 meals a day. 3 meals a day. That means I was eating out the entire day. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, okay? In New York, I would have a bagel and a coffee in the morning on the go. It's very simple. So in the morning in New York, she had a bagel and a coffee. But what does on the go mean? On the go, in other words, is on the move, while you're moving around, going from one place to another while you're traveling, okay? And another one, eating out is so cheap. This is the case in Korea. A lot of people say that you can get good food for really cheap prices. So eating out is so cheap. It's really delicious. It's quick and it's efficient. She's used some wonderful words here. Yeah, it's cheap. It's really delicious. It's quick. Oh yes. And it's efficient. So you can save time and money and at the same time have some good meals. But of course, not very healthy meals, that is. Okay, let's check out one more sentence. This is how she actually closed her response, how she ended her response. She said, I try to at least have breakfast or dinner at home. So she's trying really hard. Try to at least have breakfast or dinner at home from time to time. We've seen that expression several times. Now, from time to time means occasionally, once in a while. So I think it's important, especially for people living very busy lives. And know that you are busy, you may not have the energy to cook for yourself, or you may not have the time, but really think about your health when you're a lot young. Well, now you're young and we're all going to age. So it is our responsibility, your responsibility to take care of yourselves. Yeah, try to at least have breakfast or dinner at home, everyone.
At one point in my life, I was eating out 3 meals a day. And I'm originally from New York City. So, you live this very busy life, and in Seoul as well. So, especially in New York, I would have a bagel and a coffee in the morning on the go. You have a salad for lunch, you have a slice of pizza for dinner. You get used to going out and eating all the time. I think that kind of trend has followed in my life, especially in Seoul, because eating out is so cheap. It's really delicious, it's quick, it's efficient. But I remember I'm always sick, so my friend is saying to me, you have to look at what you're eating and how that's affecting you. So he asked me one day to write down a list of everything I ate, and he said, this is why you're sick all the time, because you never ever eat at home. And he said, even though these restaurant foods might taste delicious, you have to remember that they're not putting wholesome ingredients in it all the time. And you have to vary eating at home and eating out. So I try to, at least have breakfast or dinner at home from time to time, even though it can be quite difficult.
Now, since we talked about eating in and eating out, it is a common thing, especially in Korea, for people to, choose to go out to eat, whether it's by yourself, with your friends, or even with family. But I think, spending quality time with family, no matter where it is, of course it's important, but it's really a wonderful way to express your feelings, express your love for one another by cooking some delicious and healthy meals at home, perhaps. Next time, I'll be joining you back with another topic related to eating and food, of course. But since we talked about perhaps eating in a rush today, especially when you are eating at home or running around on the go, we'll talk about food poisoning. That happens if you eat the wrong food or if the food has gone bad. We'll also talk about indigestion. Terrible. So our next topic is, once again, food poisoning and indigestion, so please do tune in for that. As you all may know, now, in the meantime, come visit us at our homepage at www.ebse.co.kr and leave us some comments. I'm going to have to say goodbye. Well, thanks for joining me. I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.